You're listening to Everything in the Gym podcast. This is a fitness fun episode. Hello. Welcome back to Everything and the Gym. I'm your host Shelby, and we are here for a fun fitness episode. Today with me, I have Dio.
That's me.
And Jasmine.
That's me.
Okay, Elmo.
I'm actually really excited to have both of you because we don't have an episode together.
I know, it's crazy.
I know.
And you guys are like the
Look at us.
first ones that I was like, I want to do this. And now we're all together. But
Don't judge me. I needed to put it somewhere.
Dio just took his
I
gum
can't get
out.
up right now. You want to throw it over there?
Oh, that happened to. Sorry. Oh,
Nope, you can go.
We're in.
I was training a client and I had gum in my mouth and I actually spit it out. No. But you could very clearly see it
Have you
shoot out of my mouth.
accidentally spit on a client yet?
Oh, yeah, every day. It
I
just
did
happens.
it to one of them on their forehead. It was the funniest thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm so
You
sorry.
always do that though.
Simba.
When you trained me, like it was all the
I can't
time.
help it.
Just like,
It just happens.
It's kind of like when you have a teacher in school and it's like they're talking to you and it's like a shower.
oh yeah.
Dude,
Saliva.
sometimes I need it. Sometimes I'm like, I could have used a little bit of moisture there.
Yeah. Wake up.
Blot it in.
Like, I actually was falling asleep. Thank you. That woke me up. Perfect.
Oh, all right. How are you guys?
Well, I've been better for sure. I did get back from an injury, and I'm obviously
Yeah.
sick-ish
What did you do though?
to my back.
Yeah.
Let me
I'll-
let me retell you in the story of the way I tweaked my back. Sorry. So I'm doing leg press because Billy, one of my friends, was like, we haven't worked out together. Have you done an episode with Billy yet?
I have not.
You need to.
Okay.
He was like, we haven't worked out in like forever. And I was like, all right, so what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, I'm doing legs. I'm like, all right, let's do legs. Now, I don't like leg press. I hate leg press because it just never feels right to me. And I don't feel a stimulus in my quads. So I'm like, why would I do it? But the last couple weeks, it felt really good. I felt clean with it. I got way deeper stretch than normal. I felt great. But I made one error. I changed the way the seat was positioned halfway through the workout, and that's where I went wrong. The weight and everything was fine. I was doing the same like 50 pounds more than what I did last week, and everything was moving smooth. But I guess I either didn't breathe properly or I didn't stay braced, and so when I got into the bottom part of the movement, my lower back, I felt a pop, and then pain shot up my spine. And so I'm thinking, okay, I either just broke my back, I broke a nerve, I pulled a muscle, or like a tendon, something, or I herniated a disc, which I'm like, either the first or the last one would have been the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And so naturally, as one does, I pushed the weight back up while in pain because I didn't want it to fall on me because I would have been more hurt. I get out of the machine. And no one's probably ever been flashbanged here before, but that's what it felt like. I've never been flashbanged, but I felt like I was.
Yeah.
My hearing went all weird. I literally went numb. I couldn't hear anything. It was ringing. My vision started to get blurry, and I literally was like, I'm gonna black out and pass out because I'm in so much pain and shock. And it was very scary. So I get up, I sit over on the bench next to us, and I'm just like, in so writhing in pain. I'm just trying to like get comfortable, but I can't. Like any movement, I'm like, I'm going to hurt myself more if I just stay here. So Billy doesn't realize that I'm hurt. He does, because I'm not showing it. I'm very composed. I'm just like, and he's like, come on. And I'm like, dude, I can't move. I am in so much pain right now. I physically cannot even sit down. And I'm like, I need to go up to the front. And so I waddle over to the front. He grabs my stuff, and I call Cordy because I'm like, I don't know what to do. He comes, he checks me out, bless him, because he woke up, he was asleep, and he was willing to come and help me out. He checked my back, he checked my spine, did some movement patterns to see if I tweaked or did anything else to the bone itself. Everything seemed fine, but I just physically couldn't do anything. So I'm now for reference, it's leg day. Obviously, I'm wearing my shorts.
Who's your daddy shorts?
He's a massage therapist, and I'm on the couch at work. Now just picture this. I'm laid out on the couch, and he's on top of me, essentially, rubbing my lower back with my pants slightly down. So my butt crack is showing.
I took pictures for you.
Yes, and she took a video
There's
for
proof.
me.
We'll just pop it up there.
It's probably one of the funniest things because it's just like, of all the things that have happened, I am now not only in pain, but I'm also exposed a little bit, and I'm just at work, at my job, getting massage. And it helped. It did help. I felt way better. And a week later, I was able to work out again. So the main thing I just did, I didn't do any workouts. I literally just stayed home for those couple days. I put tons of icy hot and moved around. And I didn't do anything that would aggravate it. Going to the bathroom sucked because I thought I couldn't. I didn't think I was going to get back up from the toilet. I was like,
Just gonna stay here.
so that was an interesting week. And
I
then-
walked in, and the first thing Jasmine said, she's the first person I saw, she said, Theo's hurt. And I was like, and she's like, look. And you were just like, over there.
So sad.
And it was funny, it's like right when I got hurt, all my people walked in. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, of course.
You walked in, I think you walked in at some point, and then like all the other trainers walked in. I'm like, this is just absolutely, well, hello there. Sorry, I got distracted, my ADHD kicked in. And so I'm just like, wow, everyone is just like, this is awesome. So at least now everyone's updated. They know what was going on. But by far, that's the second time that's happened. This one was far worse. Better recovery, but way worse as far as pain goes. I was literally like going to cry at the gym because I was like, I am in so much pain and I feel like I just lost my career. I'm not going to be able to work out anymore. And that in itself frightens me more than anything else. Because I'm like, I don't want to be able to not work out. I know eventually I won't be able to, but not right now. Mm-hmm. That's just, no, it's scary.
How much weight were you pushing?
See, for leg press, I don't like pushing a lot of weight because I view it as like, what's the point? Because there's other lifts that you could really, like squat, deadlift, or hack squat. I'm like, I would rather push a lot of weight on there because it looks cooler and it makes more sense to me. On a leg press, I'm like, that's the perfect machine to take the movement as slow as possible, deep stretches, really focus on the stimulus that you're getting on your quads rather than focusing on going for 10 plates. Now, kudos to the people who can do that same technique with 10 plates. Garrett can do that, and he does it phenomenally. He gets a benefit from it. But for me, it doesn't work for my body mechanics, and I'm just like, I don't like it. I was doing, I think, 5 plates and a 25. At first, I was only doing 5 plates. So that was on each side. So that was like, I think, 450 or so. So, I mean, it really isn't a lot of weight, but it was enough, I guess, for me to compress my spine too much to where it would pop. And that's just why I was like, don't change anything too much. If it feels good, stick with it. Mm-hmm. But also know that even in the moment it feels really good, it can still hurt you.
Yes.
You're echoing really bad. You're echoing really bad.
It's you.
I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is I can hear you on their microphone, so we've never had that problem. So we're all friends here. Just talk. You don't have to yell at them.
I'm not trying
Shut
to.
your mouth.
Jasmine,
Be quiet.
I'll try to be a little bit quieter.
I want to see if you move the mic closer, if the mic doesn't feel like it needs to compensate and grab everything. Does that make sense? Okay, so just talk to Jasmine.
What up, Jasmine? What up, J-Train? Jasmine, I just want to say your hair's looking really nice today.
Are you serious?
No, I'm being for real.
It's in a ponytail.
I know, and it looks great.
Thank you. I literally don't know what's real and what's not.
Well, what's real is the way that I feel about you. I feel that you're a really good friend.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right.
I really was tempted to be like,
I know. I was waiting for it.
I'm not going to ruin it.
Please don't. Just have that moment, okay?
Can we get into how you know each other, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
wanna
you
start?
said something before this, and I was like, wait.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
don't know. I guess I've never really heard your perspective.
So I worked at TrueFit for a couple years, or actually just probably 1 year. And obviously when you're working up the front, you meet everyone. I know every person that went in that gym. I know everyone that goes at our gym now. And so she would come in, but we never really talked. Because for the most part, I don't talk to people unless I have a reason to, or if I'm in the mood where I actually make a joke. And so then now we're friends, and then I go from there. But she would come in all the time, and she brought her little one. And I think there was one day I had to check her in or something like that, or there's something I had to talk to her about. And so because of that, I felt comfortable now talking to her. So then anytime she came in, I would say hi or whatever and catch up. But I think it was when the guys kept gawking at you, that is when I actually spoke to her, because she was a pretty avid gym goer. She was in there almost every morning, same time, all the time, every day. And so a lot of the other guys would be like, oh man, that girl's just like beautiful. Like, dude, she's so hot. And I'm like, I look at them like, oh, she seems like she's actually really nice. Like, she's really cool. And they're like, I think she's in the military or something. And I'm like, I don't know. That's a good question. She looks like she could be in the military. So I was like, I'll go ask her. I'll ask her the next time I see her. I think either on the way out or the way in, I was like, hey, are you in the military? She's like, no, but my husband is. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, oh, cool, thanks. And then I went back and told my friends, like, yeah, no, she's not in the military, but her husband is. Her husband, guys.
Happy.
And then after that, like, I would just, like, we never actually sat and talked with one another, but we just knew about each other and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that's when he changed your life.
Oh, well, he didn't actually change my life, but
Cool.
so whenever he asked me that, he was like, oh, you're in the military. So a dream of mine forever has been to be in the military. Before I met Sam, I wanted to be in the Air Force. And it just like didn't happen because I met Sam and I'm like, I'll live through you. But you asked me that and I went home and I'm thinking, I'm like, does he think that, I mean, could I? Because I had just started my fitness journey and I just thought like, oh, I am not even fit enough to, go to basic military training. And so then it kind of gave me like a different perspective. But I remember that day, Sam came home and I was like, Sam, do you think I should join the military? Like, what if we were both in the military and that was like my job? And so we started planning it out and he's looking at me like, you're a psycho woman. Because I get these like big ideas sometimes and then, they dwindle. Story of my life. I get a little manic. But I seriously was thinking about going to the recruiter's office after you just said one thing.
That's wild.
But Sam walked me off the ledge, thank goodness. But I actually get that a lot. I get, oh, are you in the military? And I'm like, that's weird, but okay,
I actually get that quite a bit too.
You get it?
Yeah, it's usually like if I wear my academy hat that has just an American flag on it.
Oh, your tan one?
Yeah, anytime I wear any of those, I always get, and I guess it's also because of my stature and my figure. That if the way I walk, I could seem military.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, are you in the military? I'm like, oh no, like I'm far from that. I'm a trainer.
I also think that has to do with where we live though.
That's also
Because
100%, yeah.
So many, because like I'm not military at all. But like so many of you guys, my friends, are military, and so that's one of the questions I ask now is like, are you military? Which
like,
not to be judgy, but like, are we gonna be friends for a while, or
are you gonna leave? Yeah, I need to know my commitment level
like
here.
Someone over here.
I know.
And so I feel like if you were to go somewhere that wasn't like a base, and somebody was like, "Oh, are you in the military?" They're probably military. Yeah. Because I grew up in not a military town and had no idea that. Yeah.
I do feel like it's also an term of endearment, like being associated or seeing me as if you could be in the military. It's just like with, because I wanted to touch up on what Michael was saying about if someone asks, because I've been asked if I'm on steroids before, and when someone asks me that, I'm like, it's nice to know that as a natural, I can look like I'm on steroids. And like, this
like
is just a natural look for me. And I'm like, you think I'm taking steroids? I'm like, dude, you realize how big that is, because it's like, for me to look like this natural, and you say I look like I'm on steroids, I'm like, I wonder what I would look like if I was on steroids.
I know.
It's like, I can get bigger than this.
Yeah.
Like it's I think it's such a huge compliment because it's just
Yeah.
like you're telling me where I'm at right now looks like I'm doing something extra.
I like that compliment. It's a good one. We're talking about how we met? What happened? Oh, I think we didn't talk like you said. It was just like I was there at 9:15 every single morning to get my break from my 2-year-old. And then I became obsessed. But then like I heard Crunch was opening and I was like, oh, I don't know. So I did the little trial thing. And then I walked in and you were the first person I saw at that desk. And I think that was the moment when I was like, because I looked forward to seeing you every morning. It was kind of like this, I was like, he is so nice. He is so friendly. He makes me feel welcome.
Oh, thank you.
I know, in a place where I was completely uncomfortable and scared and just nervous. Like I was just like, oh, well, I'm probably going to see him when I walk in. And it was like really nice. And so seeing you at Crunch, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like I had no idea you were going to go there. And then obviously you became a trainer and then that's when we became friends.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's crazy. That
Isn't
is
that
actually
crazy?
really crazy.
I know.
It's funny because it's like, imagine going from you see me every day at one gym to now all of a sudden being at a new one, and you're like, you would have been, oh, I'm not going to see him anymore. Boom, I'm here.
I
Like,
know.
guess what? I'm
You
back.
were literally at the front desk and I was like, oh, okay, hello.
I
This
think
is
you
crazy.
didn't I sign you up or something like that, or no?
Maybe. No, because I did the thing where you signed up before. Yeah. What do
okay.
you call it? The founders thing? I don't
The online, yeah.
So I did that. But I just remember seeing you. And the
That's
same
so
thing
funny.
happened. I was there every day at the same time.
I think I would always give her a hard time whenever I'd see her run back, because I'd always end up seeing her having to run back because her son would be causing mayhem, and I'm like,
Oh, I know,
I'd be like,
yeah.
oh no, her child's doing something again.
Yeah.
There he goes.
That was when we had trouble with daycare and he was like in trouble. Oh, you knew that too. Like I would just get a phone call and they're like, yeah, you need to get him.
I started talking to you because you talked to him.
Mm,
Really?
Yes.
that's interesting.
Because you're the reason to be completely honest, you're the reason I kept going back because you're at the front desk. I knew somebody was going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
A familiar face.
But
is
then, like,
important.
you started training her, and I was like, who is she? Who is she?
It's like if he knows her, that means she must be
But,
cool.
like, I haven't been scared to talk to people at the gym,
Yeah.
and that's why I was like, hello,
Hello.
who are you?
I think you complimented my bra I was wearing one time.
Maybe.
My sports bra.
Probably. I do that
I think
a
that
lot.
was like the first initial
Gross.
thing that you said to me, because there was like a certain time when I was just like doing my own thing, seeing you talk to everybody, and I'm like, man, this girl knows everybody. She's talking to everyone. But then a small part of me was like, why isn't she talking to me? I'm here every day. Like, what about me? But then you did the whole like Stairmaster workout thing,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, she really wants to talk to me now.
Yeah.
Then we became friends.
And then we became friends, yeah.
Then we all became friends, like
Yeah.
together.
Look how much we've grown, though. We're each a completely different person than when we all
Oh,
started.
yeah.
Like, completely different.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I was just a front desk worker with ambitions to be a trainer, and then
I
now I'm actually a
know.
trainer with a business.
And you got me to be a trainer.
And then I got you.
I
Which
would
is,
not have been
I
a
think
trainer.
I still think that is the funniest thing is that you always kept talking about like, oh, maybe I should be a trainer, or even I think I just was like, you could easily be a trainer.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? It's like, yeah, like you have the physique, you have the knowledge, you're consistent, so you have experience. And I was like, you have a great personality that can easily work with other people, even though she's a little ADHD and she's a little crazy. But who would have thought? Like we would have ended
I
up
never
working
would
together.
have been a personal trainer,
Well, and you
ever. Or had a fitness Instagram, if it wasn't for you. So,
Well, thank you. That's why that's why I'm so happy that like we've all become close, because now like we have all these cool connections where you and me kind of
Yeah.
have been working together on building, hyping each other up on our business, like keeping each other accountable, like her posting more on TikTok, me posting more on Instagram, sharing our knowledge on how we train our clients online, as well as what we do for selling programs and stuff. And then like you now having this awesome podcast to where like you just get to meet all these different people and just do all these cool things. Like we neither one of us, none of
never
us
would've
would have seen this happen.
expected. And then, like, my group fit classes right now, I am the most comfortable I have ever been.
I remember you used to be
Good
really
feeling.
nervous.
And It's so cool. Like yesterday when I came out there, you're like, you look like a group fit instructor. And I was like, yes, I am.
Well, I just remember like working out and everybody would always be like, hey, are you coming to my class?
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
And now you have to do that.
I know.
Yeah.
How's that feel? To go from from being group fit and trainer, having gone from seeing other group fit instructors be like asking people to take their class to now being the one that has to go and do that.
I can speak on this because I have seen the benefits of it for ride.
Mm-hmm.
I hated going out there and being like, hey, come take my class. Hey, come take my class. Because I would have like 3 or 4 people in class. And it is hard to teach. The 9:30 hour is hard to get people to
The
class.
hardest.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And so I kept telling Stephanie, I was like, I need the energy. I need people in there. What do I do? And she's like, you got to go talk to people. My class is now to a point, I don't want to jinx it, and I know there will be a day where I will have to go back out there and like
Here, I'll say it for
people.
you. I'll say it for you so you don't have to. It's packed. Every single time I see her class, it is filled. She had to turn away people. That's how packed it's been.
But the thing is, like, there were people that I asked that, like, months ago that still come to class. And there's nothing better than being able to spot somebody out and say, hey, you should come try this class. And then 2 months in and they're like, oh my gosh, I am still coming. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
and like,
Special.
it's right now, it's to a point where I don't even have to ask them. For a long time, I would be like, hey, don't forget ride class. Hey, don't forget ride class. Hey, make sure you're coming to ride class. Make sure you book. I can post on my story now, and people come.
That's crazy.
I was just thinking about this morning. Like, there's no better feeling of just, like, people coming for you.
For
because
you,
you
yeah.
put out the effort to reach to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Do you brave it out there? Do you?
Yeah, I do sometimes. In the morning, I do.
Yeah.
Evenings, I don't have to, but
Yeah.
oh my gosh. In the evenings, my B30 class is usually booked for Tuesday. I mean, like, usually before the day prior is done. And it is the craziest feeling to look and see. I actually thought the app was broken because it said you couldn't book. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I refreshed it and I like looked into the app and it was, you couldn't book it because it was already full. And I had this moment of just like, oh my gosh, like all of these people. And it's what, like 20 people? And then Stephanie's like, no, we can have more. And I had 25 people
Wow.
staring at me doing B30.
What
and
is
I was
it?
just like, I got nervous. But it was so like empowering. And I just like have these surreal moments of like, I am inspiring all of you right now. The things that come out of my mouth, the things that I do, the things that I say. And it is such a rewarding feeling knowing that you can impact all of those people. Because before Group Fit, if I were to stand in front of 2 or 3 people and have to say something, I would crumble. Like literally I could not. And you know that. That's just how I am. I get very nervous. So to be able to do that now with like such confidence is incredible.
It's taught me so much in the last few months, like having a full class.
Yeah.
So cool.
Just think too, like that confidence is also going to carry over to when you start filming more of your solo workouts.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I've noticed that even though I don't have, like I tried doing group fit, wasn't my thing. I don't like multiple people. I like to focus on the one individual. But one of the things that I learned was I can talk on the camera a lot better. Like if I, like even with this, like I have no issues. I'm just talking to people. Even when I'm recording videos, like I might have to redo it over and over again to get the right wording, but I'm always like, I wish I had 2 cameras because it's funny watching the bloopers, but I just feel way more empowered that I'm like, I'm saying something for someone else that's over the phone. And I'm like, I know it's going to make it easier, which I'm excited for you to start doing it more. That's why I try to push her to do it more. That's why I bully her a little.
Yes, the execution is hard. I have all the ideas in my head. I have 1,000 things I want to do, but getting in front of the camera and doing something different is very nerve-wracking. I just feel like, so in my brain, I feel like everything has to be perfect all the time. And so when I set up my camera in my house or just wherever I am, I'm constantly picking out all of the things that I want to change. Like, oh, this needs to be put up here, this needs to do this, oh, I need to stand this way, and I just like overanalyze everything, and so I feel like in that moment I'm like, let's just not. Like I'm waiting for things to get easier and they're not. So I need to just buckle up and do it. Kind of like with editing. Like I was really awful at editing at the beginning, and now it's way easier.
Yeah, it's like when you just do it more consistently, regardless of how it turns out. Like half of the videos that I've recorded, like I always think they're hit or miss. I always expect them to be a flop. Like some of them will only get 20 views in the first like hour, and I'm like, okay, that one's a tank. That one completely did bad. But I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Like I posted something. I just learned that what I look at the factors, posting time, who I tagged, what I captioned it as, how long the video was. I'm like, oh, it was a 5-second video and had nothing in it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like, the audio was really bad. You couldn't hear anything. Like some of the videos that I think are the worst ones do way better. And I'm like,
It's always that way,
be like,
yeah.
Like, why did that one do good?
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So that's why I'm like, it's just, the more you do it, the better. And even if you like, when you start doing it more in the gym, you get way more comfortable. Do you remember the videos where I had like, do you remember the one where I was doing the hip thrust one?
Yes.
Where, did you see it?
Probably.
It's where one of my old work buddies, he was working out. It was whenever this trend was like, hey, how many more sets you got? Do you mind if I hop in with you? Like when they would join in on the workout and they do the same exercise, but in a very sus way. So we did a squat one, and then we did a hip thrust one. The hip thrust one was funny.
Was this Eric?
No, that one was a different one. That one was just funny. I didn't expect that one to pop off, but I was like, oh, cool. Like, I love it. It was my boy Seth, me and him, basically, I was like, hey, he was doing hip thrust on the hip thrust machine. And I was like, hey, bro, how many more sets you got? He's like, oh, just like 4 more. Do you mind if I work in with you? He's like, yeah, sure. And so it cuts to me laid flat on him with him hip thrusting me. And I'm like, so what are you doing after this? Like, or I was like, hey, are those your keys? And he's like, still like, and Weston's dad was walking by. He wasn't talking about us. He was just kind of like side-eyeing, like, what is going on over here? He said something, and I thought he was talking about us, and I didn't realize it was his dad either. And I thought he said, oh, that's a good one for the hard drive, like saving it. And so I made an edit like that where it cuts to him being, oh, that's a good one for the hard drive. Super funny.
That is
Which
hilarious.
it's funny because it had no actual relation to what was going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you get to editing more, you start to notice the
The
small
other
little things.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It just adds to the quality of the video.
Yeah.
I have something to piggyback off of that, though. Because I was laying on the floor in the HIIT gym the other day. This is like a month ago. And I think I told you this. I'm pretty sure I did. You were down where like the bench presses were, and all I could see was this tripod. And in my head, I thought, how weird is it for somebody coming into the gym as a newbie to be like laying in the spot that I was laying in? They probably would not be laying on the floor. But laying in the spot that I was laying in, it's weird to see just a tripod. Like, how bizarre. Like, what do you, as a newbie, like, I feel like that'd be hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I feel like and this kind of goes into one of the topics I wanted to bring up, is that I feel like when it comes to certain gyms, everyone wants to either be famous, they want to showcase what they learned, they want to share their experience and their knowledge to help other people, and I love that. Like, I think that you should follow whatever dream you have, but I think it's the way that you go about it. But like what I was saying was that when there's certain ways you should go about it, and I think for newcomers, it can be very discouraging or very scary to see someone with a tripod, because then you feel like, oh, I'm going to be on camera. My embarrassing moments are probably going to get on camera, and it's very possible that it will happen. But I think it then falls on us to have the responsibility and understanding that we have to be respectful of other people's space. You can record your stuff, you can do your thing. If the people don't have an issue with it, awesome. If you don't make a big deal or spectacle and like zoom in on their face without their consent, then you're fine. It's like, Like Jasmine can zoom in on any part. Like if I'm in any of her videos, even if I'm not directly doing anything, she can use me because I don't care. Like me and her have she knows I don't mind. But if it's like someone else does it, I will have an issue with it because I'm like, one, you didn't do that with my consent. But I'm also, I can't say anything because it's a public gym. I will just say, hey, I'd appreciate it if like next time at least let me know what the video is about, or let me help you do more for it. But that's me. Not everyone has that same mindset. And it bothers me a lot when I see all these videos, like Joey Swoll's account is flooded with them. There's other accounts that do the same thing, and I've always wanted to touch up on it, but I'm just like, if I do, I'm gonna get really heated about it because to me, it bothers me so much. Seeing other people feel entitled to where they believe that because I have a tripod, I have authority in this space. This is my space. You're encroaching on my video. I'm like, you can just re-record it. Yeah. There's no one video that you have to make and have to make it right a certain way. You can always redo it. The amount of times I've had people either cut in my video or walk across or even interrupt me during my workout, I still can. I'm like, it's fine. It's no big deal. I only use 15 seconds of it. If I'm recording like a session with a friend, okay, cool. They walk in front of it, awesome. I'll move the camera. I'll re-record it. I don't care. It just doesn't make sense to me why they feel as if they have more authority over other people, why they think that they're way better than other people, because you're not. None of us are. We're all on the same playing field. We're all on the same ground. It doesn't make any sense to act as if, oh, I'm cooler because I'm more fit and I have followers and I have a tripod, so you shouldn't be in my frame. It's like,
and that's not the way that we're thinking.
How it works. Exactly.
Like, that's not our mindset when we do stuff like that. So, yeah, when people say things like that, which I actually wanted to talk about this because we're talking about TikTok. I have had recently in the last week a lot of negative comments. Just comments like, why are you doing this? Nobody cares. Why do you have a tripod in the gym? Like exactly what we're talking about, those comments. Usually they don't bug me, but when you're struggling to find the confidence to record yourself and you see those comments, it's like, I feel like it brings me back a couple steps. And so that's why I'm grateful to have you, because you give me the other side of it, because you are doing it. And it allows me to, I guess, feel a little bit more confident or know it's okay. Because no matter what you do, there's going to be people who have something to say. They're not going to like it. You're going to be in the gym recording. There's probably at least one person who's like, look at that girl. And then what? You know, like, so realizing that and knowing, okay, not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody's going to like this video. Is a really tough thing to come around to.
It's hard. I haven't had to deal with a lot of negativity. Like I had a few negative stuff, but I always, my first instinct with negativity is laughter, because I'm like, I think, okay, I feel bad for the person because they are in a state where they are attacking the world because they are not happy with where they're at. And I feel that. And I'm sorry about that because I know it sucks. When you see someone else being successful or you see someone else living their life, but you can't, it's hard. And I understand, like they have every right to feel the way they do. Now, the way they go about it isn't the right way. I think that in that instance, it's like, okay, if you have something hateful to say and it's coming from a place of insecurity or anything like that, I would love to help work you through that. I may not be a counselor, but I understand those struggles. I would love to be like, tell me why it is that you feel that you needed to attack me for that. Like, why do you feel attacked? Maybe that's something I need to learn about the way I maybe portray myself. Because I could post content. Like, I've said quite a bit of stuff that most people off the first rip, like even the conversations we were having prior to the cameras rolling, many people can take out of context and they could feel as if it's directed towards them. I have to think very heavy about what I'm saying and who I'm targeting, because if I say, oh, like you don't want to be lazy, it's like everyone could find that super offensive. Because they're like, well, you don't understand. Like I physically just can't work out, or this is just, I'm in depression. I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, I'm sorry that's what you're going through. I didn't mean you are incapable of doing things. I'm just saying that there are times if you can make a choice, you can make a choice, but not everyone has that ability to. Sometimes you're just in a bad situation.
But a lot of times, like, the people that are making those comments, they don't realize how much work you actually put into making that video.
And you know what? All of these comments that I've ever had, they are never women. They're always men. 100% of the time. And it is just the rudest, meanest comments. And I'm just like, I mean, I respond with smiley faces, and I'm like, thanks for the engagement. But
I mean, it's true. all negativity
Yeah.
still gives you
You
engagement.
commented,
regardless.
and I got engagement, so thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And usually that's what I say to them, and they don't.
It's funny. It's just I don't understand the world that we live in where that's a thing. Like the people that will post a picture in the locker room, where like there are laws, there are specific laws that do protect people where they can sue you for this kind of stuff because of like we're in an open space here. There's a camera up there. Therefore, if someone took a picture of me, I can't say anything because I'm in a public space.
Yeah.
Now, depending on the way they use it, I can then say something. If they put it on an explicit website or anything like that, use it for something for personal gain, I can then do something about it. But if I'm in a public space and someone takes a picture of me, I can't fight them up for it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to because I'm like, what's the harm in it? Depending on what they do with it, that's what matters. Now, if you're in a locker room and it specifically says no pictures, obviously, if you're going to take a picture and you're going to go against the rules, make sure there's no one in the background, or make sure that the people that are in the background aren't naked, and don't post it and act as if, oh, wow, I can't believe this naked old man is in my frame. Like, he's changing. He just got done working out. He didn't expect to see someone with a camera, and he didn't expect to be on camera.
He's not the problem.
He has every right to be, he's expecting to have privacy, and you are robbing him of that. Just because you can see him does not mean you can record and post it because it's a locker room, it's private. There are like certain things, if it's private property, you can't record in those spaces because it's private property. And as anyone who wants to be an influencer or anything like that, read up on your laws because at least it protects you and it lets you know, okay, these are the guidelines. If you go to a new gym, ask the staff, am I allowed to record? Is that a big deal here? Do you have any rules against that? If so, awesome. I'm looking at it when I moved to Dallas, I'm looking for a gym job, and I'm going to make sure like I can record because there's no point in me working somewhere I can't record because that's kind of my whole thing. So like, just talk to staff. If people are in the frame, just ask if they're okay with it. Sometimes you don't really need to ask. Sometimes you just start recording, but do it discreetly to where it's not a big hassle or in the way, and just make sure it's focused just on you and no one else. And then you're fine. No one will have any issue with it. If someone has an issue, they come up to you, and as long as they're nice about it, even if they're rude about it, just be like, I'm sorry. Like, you're right. I should have been more considerate. I should have asked you. I won't do that again if you're here. But I'll go off and I'll record it somewhere else. You don't necessarily have to stop recording. Just be respectful of everyone's space.
I do feel like even since I started recording, maybe these things were around back then. I just was ignorant and didn't know. But like they're making tripod use and like the ability to record anywhere very easy now with like your phone case to like prop up and stuff. So it's not so much in the way I don't have one, but I mean, I feel like days of tripods, like it's becoming more, what is the word I'm looking for? Socially acceptable.
More mainstream.
But we're like slowly getting there.
Yeah.
It's a very like slow climb because like I always think about like, look at our day to day. Like most people are scrolling social media. They have certain favorite people that they like, certain influencers. But those are the same people who, watch that content. But when they see the content being created, it's a different story.
Yeah.
It triggers something in them. And so I'm always interested in like that dynamic of we are consuming that media all the time, but seeing someone do it makes you uncomfortable. And like, that's our whole world. Like that's how people make their money. And that's what I think too. I'm just like, I'm trying to make a living, having online clients. And this is the way that I do that. There's no other way I can do this. So it kind of gives me a little like peace. I think of it that way. But yeah, it's just crazy that it's our life now. Like social media is our life. Content creating is our life.
Recorded.
But it just feels different when you see it. I don't know.
There have definitely been times where like seeing it firsthand, I'm kind of I would normally be like, huh, but I usually will be like, okay, I go through a checklist. They're checking their form. Maybe they're sending it for clients.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a trainer. Maybe they have a social media platform, or maybe they're just doing it for progress. Because I wish people would record more. Because I wish I didn't. I wish I would have more pictures. I only took pictures when I actually looked good. I didn't have pictures when I didn't feel good with myself. And I was like, I wish I had that so I could showcase the different phases that I went through.
I think there's power in that though.
Yeah.
Because I think the same thing But in those moments where I should have been taking pictures, my mindset in that time was, I'm not going to get to where I want to be. I wasn't confident. I wasn't saying like, yeah, in 6 months I'm going to look completely different or something. So like looking back, I kind of am like, okay, well, I don't have that many pictures, but I was a completely different person. I didn't think I would get to this point here. So I just put my head down, grinded, and the next thing you know, you wake up and you're like,
It's like, whoa.
are those biceps? Like,
So,
okay.
do I have traps?
Yeah. And then it's crazy.
With knowing that you should have taken more pictures now, are you taking more pictures, or knowing you should have taken more pictures then, do you take more pictures now because
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Dude, I have to pay for extra storage on my
Yeah.
phone.
Literally so much storage every single day, every single gym sesh. And then, I mean, you don't see the progress day to day, but then whenever you go back, you're like, holy moly. Like the amount of comparison pictures that I have are crazy.
And not only that, oh, go ahead.
I made a reel about this. I think it was like 2 days ago, but I had taken so many gym selfies and put them in a little thing at the top of Instagram in like a happy tab. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to turn this into a reel because the changes from like that first photo 2 years ago through.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it really is cool.
It really is. It's like you can also we form emotional attachments to a certain time, music, movies, smells, sound, whatever. And so when you have pictures, I can look back at my pictures and be like, I know what I was going through at that point. I know what my biggest struggle was at that point. I know what my biggest victory was during that moment. And knowing that and seeing that you got through that allows you to really feel more emboldened and empowered that like I can handle so much more than I ever thought I could. I can get through the toughest, lowest of valleys because obviously, one, God's got your back regardless. Literally, my shirt says, God got this. So that, but plus, you know that you are taken care of by the people you're surrounded with. Seeing pictures like whenever like we all hung out, I was like, wow, like, I never would have expected myself to have a group of friends besides like from high school. I never would have expected to have friends outside just from life because I was always like, I just never made friends. I never really went out of my way to have groups of people. I just kind of stuck to myself and had my 2 or 3 friends, and that was it. Because I was like, I would say I'm a hermit because I just like to stay at home. But like having friends like y'all, to where I was like, I actually looked at myself, I was like, wow, like, I actually am capable of making friendships and hanging out and doing stuff to where I know that when I'm in Dallas, I'm probably gonna make some more friends. I could be going out to bars or going to game nights or whatever because I know that I can do it.
Wow.
We came so far.
I know.
And there's still so much more to go. And wow, your foot really has been moving. I'm so sorry to call you out for that.
Well, I'm thinking about like the same thing, and just before I moved here, I did not have any friends. And when I tell you I had no friends, like I used to sit and cry to Sam because I just wanted a group of girls to like go out and go to dinner.
And don't worry, sister, you got all the girls.
I know.
There's 3 other ones in this room.
Yes.
Because I'm one of the girls.
And so moving a place and just being here a short time and having that, like what you're talking about, like genuine friendships who push you and make you better is insane. And so I get very sad when I think about moving because I know I'm not going to ever come back to San Angelo, which is a thing that I think a lot of my friends don't consider. You know, it makes me sad. No, Shelby. Oh.
Never say never.
I mean,
You don't know. You never know. Truthfully, you never know. There's many things I said I never would do. I do it now. I
I don't have control over it.
But then we're all displaced because you're moving. We're probably
My
moving.
parents live here. I'm going to be back. Don't worry. Believe me, you'll know when I'm back.
That's good you have your parents here.
Like, my parents are here. Her parents are here. Like, we going to be coming back. And even then, like, I think that with the fact that I have such grounded friends, I would actually find myself wanting to visit more often because I'm like, I would want to be like, oh, let's say Weston has a birthday party. Weston has another kid. Kind of hoping he has a girl at some point. Let's say he has another kid. I'm going to probably come down and visit. Let's say y'all have some big accomplishments that y'all go through. Something happens, whatever. I would probably, like, I'm not that far. Even then,
Like
in the
you getting
future, we would be
married.
moving, huh?
Like you getting married.
Yeah, like if, you never know. It's like, you never know. It's like, to say never is like, it just basically is, what's the word I'm looking for? It spells for it to happen again. Like, I can definitely see you being surprised at the fact that even though you may not be in full control of everything, you may not even come back to San Angelo, but you might still come back to Shelby.
Yeah.
You might still end up running into me again. You never know. It can always happen.
It can
Who knows? Maybe we go to you.
Maybe.
The same.
Who knows where I'll be? Maybe I'll go to Hawaii and you guys can come.
Yeah.
You can find me there all summer.
Yeah. I'm hoping I go
Bye,
someplace
Jake.
cool and
See
then
you
you guys
later.
can just visit. Yeah. I don't like saying never either.
Justin
It's
Bieber
a
said it
tough
first.
situation.
Never say never.
Never say never. Justin
Speaking of celebrity, I'm just kidding.
Bieber. No. Nope.
What a great segue. So, has anyone heard about what's happened with all the celebrities?
Like Jasmine?
Jasmine, you might have the most info on this topic. Go ahead.
What topic?
You know,
No.
top
No.
pick.
What pick?
Exactly. Pick.
No, it's not a pick.
It's a video. Oh, so you know.
No what?
Exactly.
What are we talking about?
By the way, this
I'm not
is
bringing it up.
Friday, February 9th. So if you're listening to this and you know what's happened around February 9th, you know what we're talking about. We're just going to leave it at that.
No. You know, you know.
If you know, you know. You had to be there.
Download, like, and subscribe.
Yeah.
I do have a fun topic for you, though.
Ooh, I love fun topics.
You know how much you hate burpees?
Yeah.
The Guinness World Record for burpees in 1 hour is 1,002.
Who does that? How?
Psychopath.
Like, do they have video of it? Because I would love to sit for an hour and
on
watch
the
that.
Guinness World Record website.
That is ridiculous. I would
No.
much rather, like, I don't even know what I would rather do.
The mental game to tell yourself, you have to do this for a straight hour.
He had to have, was it a guy or a girl?
The guy was 1,002, and it's chest to ground burpees. The girl was 829.
Wow. Do they have the age range?
I didn't say there.
That is just insane.
Yeah.
I can only think that in those moments you have to think about survival because like,
Yeah.
you have to legitimately be like, if I don't do this, I'm dead. Because there's no other, like, I can't think of any other motivation that can push you. Like, I would never, like, I don't care about a world record. Like, what do I get out of it? Just putting my name in history. I'd rather do that some other easier way that
Yeah,
doesn't require me to do burpees.
Absolutely.
I wonder, like, how tired they had to have been.
I just feel like that's like an hour of hit. Like,
Hold on.
well, how
Yeah.
long was it? How long did it
For
take?
1 hour.
1 hour of continuous burpees. Quickly.
Yeah.
How many was the guy?
The guy was 1,002.
Insane. Divide that. You could do the math on how many.
So that's 16 a minute.
Holy moly.
That is ridiculous. I did my math right, didn't I? I just 1,002 divided by 60.
What's the girl's?
Wow.
Hers was 829.
That's still impressive.
She did 13 a minute. That's not even that far off.
Probably a
That is
CrossFitter.
insane. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wonder, so in instances like that though, what are their metrics? Because like I would look at it like, okay, are we going like solid form? Or are we just going like you just get down, up, and the simple? Because like there's a little bit of nitpicking there can
Yes.
be there.
Yeah.
It also depends on height, though, because how far do you have to push back? And,
Do you want me to say that?
oh, yes, please.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just in the comment.
But that would also depend on your height, right?
Yeah.
Like how far you have to go down to the ground and
Just
Are they
shorter, you can go
jumping?
quicker.
Yeah, and how many of them
Are they
didn't
doing
count?
push-ups?
it's chest to ground.
Oh, chest to ground.
So.
Okay. That's what you said.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. You know what we need to do? You know what we need?
What?
We need a fourth camera. You know what that needs to go? Right over there so we can get your reactions every now and then. I
We've
think
talked about it.
it would be so cool to have the editor in the background. Just like cut the camera. You research stuff and it's like, okay, like, you know, that would be so cool.
Also,
I'm just saying.
pause. Let's do your rapid fire questions a different Friday. We're just recording on Fridays.
Okay.
That way we can keep this conversation going.
Yeah, I was concerned about cutting this off. And
Yeah, I don't want to cut it. I would say set an alarm for 2:55. We'll take pictures. I'll have one of you drive me back to the apartment. And
Okay.
Yeah.
We do.
All right.
And we're back.
All right.
And
Wait.
we're back.
We're back.
Where did we go? We went somewhere, and you didn't tell me. I wasn't ready. I don't know what's going on. Where did we go? Because I need to know, because I get a little nervous when I don't know. Why are you laughing at me?
Because you're a mess.
I am a mess.
You're a mess. Like, for real.
Don't use that.
It will
Thank
be
you.
TikTok reel.
I hope so. I'm sorry. I need a minute.
Do you need a wet towel?
I need a chip. Put your headphones on.
It's my biggest pet peeve.
Okay,
Oh my goodness.
Your laugh and Weston's laugh last drill, I laughed at that so many times because I remember I have not gut laughed that hard in so long.
Oh,
It
where
was
it like
nice to
hurts.
it was nice
The
to
best.
rewatch.
Did that last.
I have a funny joke.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why can't the nose be 12 inches long? Because then it'd be a foot. Jasmine, please.
Oh, I got it.
Wow. Someone timed that. How long did it take her?
Oh,
Like-
quite delayed, but I always get it. I always come around.
What's got 5 toes but isn't your foot?
My other foot. Oh. Thought I had that one.
What do you do? These are all TikTok jokes, by the way. What do you do if someone gets injured playing peekaboo?
What?
You take them to the ICU. I love that joke.
I like that one.
When I tell you I'm excited to be, whenever I can finally be a father, I'm going to make so many dad jokes.
I can't wait for you to be
Yeah.
done.
It's going to be so good.
So many things that we have said to you, it's just going to click.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to click and be like, oh yeah, Shelby and Jasmine talked about this.
Everyone here's a mother. Are you a mother? Okay.
Yeah.
Would y'all ever have more kids?
But I can't have any.
Would you have more? Would you adopt?
There's so many ways to go about that.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to be a mom, which we've had this conversation. I would not be able to do the things I do now if I had another kid.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think I would lose myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would lose my, like, I worked so hard to be in a good mental state. I think if I was to have another one, I don't know if my mental state would stay in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that, like, Crosby is an amazing child.
Oh, she's cute. She's funny.
But the amount of mental energy it takes to be a mom, I just don't think I would be able to.
Mm.
So, later down the road, because, like, Crosby wants a sibling. That's another, like, sword in the fire. It's like she wants a sibling. She wants a sister. And at times I'm like, oh, yeah, that would be nice for you to have somebody to, like, I don't know, run around with. But you have to take care of yourself in order to be a good mom.
Yeah.
And I know that I will be a better mom to Crosby if I don't have any more children. Yeah.
I can respect that.
I agree with that. I do. I could see myself having one more, but I struggle with that. So Jack is like 3 kids in one. He's been like that since he came And it's just mentally hard. And gosh, it's just like a whole thing. If it were to happen accidentally, I'd be okay with it. And I think Sam would be okay with it too. But I don't think we would intentionally plan to have a second kid, if that makes sense.
Miracle baby.
Yes. But yes, Jack is like, Mommy, where's my brother? Mommy, where's my sister? He's like obsessed with that right now. And every time he does that, I'm like, oh, I could give you a sister.
They're on the way.
Yeah.
They don't have a concept of time yet.
They don't know.
So you could be like, oh,
He doesn't
they're on the way.
understand.
They'll be here.
He doesn't
They'll be here
understand
eventually.
anything. He's like, Mommy, I was in your tummy.
Mommy.
And I was like, yes. And then what did he say? He said, when I get older, I'm going to have a baby in my tummy. And I'm like, honey.
No, that's not how that
We got
works.
to talk about this. So it's hard, like, having him talk about it and knowing, like, how he would be with someone else. Because I know he would be a great big brother. But I've always heard, like, don't have a second kid just because your first is lonely. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. And it's not that they're lonely. It's just, like, in the times where they're playing by themselves or they want all of your attention all of the time. And so if you had a second one, that would kind of be,
Okay, I see
a
that.
little better in a way. But then you're still taking care of two kids and, so I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at.
It's something that doesn't go away when they go to sleep because your brain is still mentally, oh, I need to do this for, I need to do this for
Yeah.
them, I need to do this, or, oh yeah, I can't forget to put this in their lunch, or like the mental game of being a parent, it's like,
It doesn't turn off, and it
Yes.
never will.
yeah, it never will.
People say, like, oh, well, when they turn 18, they move away. No, you're still going to be worried, and you're still going to be thinking about them, and it's just not going to go away, which is something you have to think about before you have kids.
I think seeing like how y'all have been, like y'all are amazing mothers, by the way. Y'all have done really great jobs. And I think that I've been able to pull a lot of inspiration from y'all and learn a lot of stuff prior to us ever having kids, as well as like marriage and stuff. And I think like seeing like how mothers are and the fact that they, because like, even I see it with my mom. Like my mom does a lot. She always is worried about me all the time. When I tweaked my back and I was at home, she didn't know until later. She's like I just saw her. She was scared. I was like, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm all right. And like even now, like she's like, I'm 25 and she'll still treat me like I'm her little baby, which I'm sure every mother still will do no matter what. But seeing just the work that y'all have to put in, it does go unnoticed at times. And I know that that's always also a struggle with it. But I just want y'all to know y'all do a really great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. It's hard.
Yes. But there's nothing better. Like Crosby loves the gym.
Just
Loves the gym.
raising them right.
And there is nothing better than like the HIIT workouts, the family ones.
Yeah.
Crosby absolutely loves going, and
He's thriving.
it feels good as a mom to see her have interest in healthy.
Oh, especially as a
healthy.
girl. Like, because when we were that age, we weren't thinking of
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, and like something else at school is like nutrition-wise, I was not taught any form of nutrition, and like Crosby and I have conversations about protein. Like she'll tell her
Yeah.
friends, "You need to eat your protein,"
Aw.
and I'm like, "Yes, we do." So, I mean, it would be cool to like have another kid to be like, "Yeah, this is how
Yeah.
you do it," but yeah.
If my kids don't tell people to eat protein,
Yeah.
I'm going to be livid. That is probably the one thing that does scare me, is that, like, even though I'm not a father yet, I know that, like, I have those thoughts of, like, okay, when I'm older, like, I have to have, even now, I feel like I got to take care of stuff now before I have kids. Like, I need to make sure I am the healthiest I can be, so that way I have strong kids and then also can teach them. If I don't have the knowledge, I can't really share it with them. But I'm like, I always am worried that my kids won't like working out, or they're not going to like
Scary
anime.
fear.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. Well, obviously them not being good kids, like that would be on my part. But those are the main two.
But here's what happens when that happens.
You force them.
No.
You
can.
brainwash them.
That means you have to grow and open your eyes to other opportunities and doors that may open.
Yeah. You got it. I think that's true. It's like you have to be able to expand yourself so that way they have somewhere to like pull resources from and then see and find what they like.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Did you bring any topics? Do you have a quick topic? If not, I have.
My topics were entitlement with the gym and recording and getting over that. The second one was, I think any couple that is either planning to get engaged or is engaged should take premarital counseling, mainly because there's so much that you learn about your partner. If you truly love your partner, you want to learn as much about them as you can. And there's no better way. You think you may know them, you don't. I'm sorry, you just don't. I didn't know there's a lot of stuff about Destiny that I did not know about until we took premarital counseling. That was a blessing for me because I was like, I just got to learn a huge chunk about her, and I'm so happy about that. Like, it makes sense. It makes me be able to love her better and also create a space for her to be loved as well as to love me. And I think every relationship should have some form of premarital counseling, because if you do not, there's so much left that you're gonna mess up. Like, now we at least know our weaknesses and our strengths. We understand like why one might have more confidence while the other may not, or our past history and the trauma that we went through and why it might come back up in the future, or how we can address it. And I think that is so beautiful. Like, I love learning about people on that level. I would love to do counseling with friends. That would be so much fun. But like, I'm just saying, it is so good. I love it. You should do it.
This is counseling for friends.
Exactly.
Kind
This
of,
is counseling for friends. But the tests that we did were so cool. You get to
Yeah.
learn like communication strengths, financial strengths and weaknesses and stuff. And I'm like, like, that makes sense. I looked at him like, so, like, what about this one? You said no here, and I said yes. So where's our disconnect? And it's like, oh, we're actually not disconnected on that. We just have two very different perspectives. I'm like, I see what you're saying. She sees what I'm saying, and I'm like, we're actually on the same page.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
100% recommend.
Do you have any last ones?
I'll recommend, that. Oh, what?
Yeah? Do you have any topics you want to brush over?
No.
No? Okay.
So you want to ask?
You want to talk about the video?
What video? No.
Quick question. How long should your warm-up cool down be? Jim Langdon.
What's that?
What's that face? It's like, hey, you're like, you asked me a fitness question.
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes?
3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, for warm up and
Yeah.
cool down?
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. I do it like depending on the warm up. If you really need a warm up, especially with age, maybe 5 to 15 minutes
Yeah.
warm up, but be very extensive about it, depending on what you're doing, of course. Otherwise, just, 3 to 10 minutes.
Something is better than
usually what I
nothing.
do.
Yeah. Instead of going cold.
Another quick question. Moderate reps, lightweight, like moderate reps or high reps or low reps? So like low, middle, high. What's better?
As
For
far as like,
muscle high,
Hypertrophy?
yeah.
It varies. It really does. I wouldn't say that there is necessarily a very specific range you need to be in. It's just you need to be within a certain threshold. So like, anyone can technically build muscle from 1 to 5 reps. That's typically going to be focused on strength. Anywhere from 6 to like 12 or 18 reps is going to be more hypertrophy. Anything past 18 is going to be more muscle endurance. So there are phases you would go through that's going to require certain aspects. So technique, I've done it where I do a mix of every range, because sometimes that's what you need. To build muscle, you just have to create enough stimulus on the muscle for it to encourage it to grow. It has to get stronger. It has to adapt. If it doesn't do that, then it's not going to do anything. That's where I've gone wrong in my training, because I jump around from program to program typically too often, because I do get bored, or I feel like it's not stimulating me the way I need it to, or something happens and I have to fall off. And what I've been doing now, and as well as with my online clients, is being very, very specific about progressive overload and making sure that they know when they need to start adding weight and when they should start staying at the same weight. So even for me, I know that my volume can be a lot higher because that's what I'm good with. I do the more bodybuilding type workouts where I'm not worried about weight. I'm worried about reps and quality and tension. But I will actually do a mixture of heavier weight. Like I would do, like, as an example, like incline bench, typically, most people don't do heavy weight, but I'll do anywhere from I'll do 225 and my rep range will be anywhere from 6 to 10 on a good day. Now that's not necessarily hypertrophic, but it will, if I'm getting close to failure, I will build muscle more often than not, as long as I'm also eating right. So it really just depends on the goal and what exercise you're doing it for and stuff like that.
Knowing your body too, just like figuring out like how things feel and how a certain weight feels, and it just like all kind of goes together. It's like a big melting pot. Like, I don't know. There's not one specific.
For you, because I've seen a lot of your transformation over the past couple of years. What would you say is the style of training that's worked for you the longest, or the best? Which one would you say has given you the best results as far as rep range, mixture, or even focus?
I would say rep range. I noticed significant changes when I went to lower reps and higher weight. I think for so long I was just fatiguing my muscle and not pushing myself. And the second I started like saying, okay, I'm going to lift as heavy as I can for X amount of reps, it just like changed my life. And I think it's also because I became so focused on that aspect of it that I wasn't thinking about like other things. I wasn't like looking in the mirror every single day. I was just like, man, look how much I can lift. That is insane, And so I think that piece was big for me. Because we're taught as women, you need to do 12 to 15 reps of this body weight exercise, which is like, no, it's not going to give you your dream butt or like whatever, Lift heavy. Girls can lift heavy too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I want to see you make an ugly face, and if you're not making an ugly face, you're not lifting heavy enough. That's how I am with my clients. I'm like, let's see it. They get so nervous about making a noise, and I'm like, this is where I want you. Like, yes.
Did you see me struggling in the mirror the other day? Oh my gosh. I was doing like shoulder presses. You yelled something. I had my music in, but like you were looking, and I was like, so many people can see my ugly face right now.
It was both of y'all. I was training with clients and y'all were both lifting pretty heavy. And so like, I'm not normally like this, but when it's with my friends, I don't really care what other people say because it's like, y'all are my friends, my people. It doesn't matter. I only see y'all in this instance. And so like Jasmine was bench pressing and she was doing 115, I think.
Yeah.
And so I was like, normally, depending on since I know what her strength level is, I'm watching to make sure if she needs a spot, I'm there.
Watching.
Because I know if she gives up on herself, that's going to be an issue with me. Because
Trainer for life
strong.
over here.
Trainer for life. I've trained her, so I actually know. I'm like, she's going to do it. And I'm yelling at him like, let's go. Come on, J-Train.
It actually helps so
It
much.
does. I was like, dang it, Dio's watching.
Not only does she know that I got her, but she also knows that she's got it.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. With you, when you were doing your shoulder press, or I think you were actually doing dumbbell bench.
It was like, the chair was.
It's like, okay. So you were doing your exercise, either the press motion, and I looked over and I could see like you were starting to struggle. I was like, come on, Shelby. Get it.
I actually dropped the weight and then re-picked it back up to do like 2 more sets.
See,
because
there you go.
Because
it's like, it's so funny. Women, most women, everyone in general, please cut that out. Women typically won't push themselves as hard because they are afraid of being bulky. Yeah. It's not going to happen unless you're eating an exorbitant amount of protein, you're on your diet, and you are training to failure almost, not necessarily every single time, but you are progressing every single week and on a very strategic program. Yeah. But women are so much stronger than they give themselves credit for. Absolutely. I love training with women because I want to see them surprise themselves. Yeah. It brings me I thrive training women because I just know that when we work out, I'm not going to treat you like a woman. I'm going to treat you like someone who walked in the gym.
I appreciated that so much though, you doing that, because I was like, I feel seen, I feel heard, like, because most men are just weird about it, And
I'm just like, let's throw on some more weight.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's treating me like he would treat anyone else. Oh my gosh.
Because that's what y'all deserve. I actually get very motivational about this, but like Every woman deserves to be.
Huh? Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
Okay, every woman deserves to be treated equally.
Yes, we do. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, you guys.
You're welcome.
Anytime.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed this fun fitness episode. Thank you for listening. Make sure you download, like, and subscribe. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Catch you later, guys. Bye.
Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split ya.
What did you say?
He's so bad.
What did he say?